Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome again to my channel. In this video, we're going to be working on authenticating the user into the system. So now, as you saw within the last video, we were able to successfully register a user within the system. We did all our validations and checks, and once everything was satisfied, we were then able to proceed towards registering the user within the application, within the system. Now, the first thing I want to do before we start off with setting up what we're going to need to authenticate the user, um, as you can see, we have one user, which is an admin user, as you can see there with the user type. So now I want to create a basic user of the standard user type. So here within our form over here, I just want to quickly refresh. All right. So now the first thing I want to do is create a basic user. I'm just going to call him Steven. Let's just use those credentials there, Steve Doe or whatever, and then we're just gonna create a password for him. Looks like I have the caps lock there. Okay, so let's just create a password for him, and obviously we're gonna create him as a basic user. So I'm just gonna add him there. All right, so if we check our database now, we now have two users. One is admin, one is a basic user. All right, so that's the email for Steve there. Okay, so now here within our application, we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did with the user form, by adding a model attribute that's going to bind the form fields in our login form. So now the first thing I'll do is here within the models, I'll create a class and I'm going to call it login. All right, and then the two fields we are obviously going to need is private string, which is going to be username. Oh, sorry, it's going to be email. And then the other field we're going to need is obviously the password field. All right, and then we're going to annotate this the same way we did in the registration form. So we're going to say at blank, and then the message will be the email is required. And then we're also going to take that and say the password field is required. All right, so now we can also annotate this to make sure that it's an email that's being input into the system. So I mean into the input field. So I'll add that there. All right, so that's our form field. Then now we're gonna within our advisor controller, we then here gonna do the exact same thing where we say add model attribute. We'll just call this user login, and just like we did the user, um, what we'll do is public. What am I doing? Let's say public login, and then get login defaults. All right, so we just do that there, import the class. All right, so we're gonna do the exact same thing when we say return uh, new uh, login. All right, all right, that's That's the model attribute we're going to use to bind our login field, our login form to this login model. So now within here, I'm going to create another controller, which is going to be auth controller. All right. So obviously we have to create a what you call it, a view for our login form. So we're going to say model and view, and also get login. All right. So then the name for the login view, which is going to be login. So remember, this is sitting within the root of our JSP file, so we don't need to add any other name to it. We just have to say login. All right, and then I'll say login view dot add object is going to be page title, uh, and obviously we're going to name that login. What else? I think we also need to, I'm just going to put a system sys statement there, and then in the in login oh, all right, and then we're gonna return login view. I think that's all we need for now. Obviously we have to annotate that as a get mapping, which is going to be login. Right, let me just see. I think that's all we need for now. Oh yeah, so within the login form, we need to do the same bindings we did as we did within the registration form. So there's going to be some changes we have to do here. So here within the add user registration form, I'm just going to copy these tags here and then just paste them at the top. All right, so now we're going to make some alterations to our login form. So the first thing I'll do is model attribute which equals to, and obviously we need to get the this name over here. Let me just close all these other tabs here. Admin controller, that's fine. Actually, let's close that as well. Authentication down, we can leave that. Yeah. So I'm gonna paste that there, and then obviously this is gonna be a post mapping, and then we're gonna say login. All right. So now the first thing I need to do is alter our form here. So we're gonna say form, and then just make sure you do that at the bottom there as well. And then we're also gonna obviously gonna change some of our input fields. So this is gonna be form. It's gonna be an input field. It's gonna be of type email, and then change that and say C. And then this is gonna change from name to path. And then I think that's all we need. Oh yeah, by the way, we also need to add our errors there. So we're gonna say form, then we're gonna say error, or is it errors? Let me just make sure. I think it's errors. And then we're going to say path equals to email. And then obviously we want it to come out with a red color, so we're going to say CSS class, and then I'm gonna say text danger, and then we close it off there. Now also one thing, remember to always close your tags here once you use these Spring tags, otherwise it's just gonna give you an error. Okay, so the other thing we do the same thing for the password field. So I'll copy that, change that to password, and then change the form tag, the input tag to that. Change that, we can leave, that we can change. You know what, I want to leave this class. I want to see if it's actually going to do the exact same thing. So that we're going to change the path, and then obviously close the tag there. Okay, so I think that's it in terms of the form. Now we need another form over here, an input field. Okay, then we're going to remove the label, and then also the error. Okay, so this one is going to be a hidden field, and then we don't need that. And then what we need is path is going to be token. I'm just going to say underscore token. Or should I do that? Actually, no. Let me just leave it as name. Uh, and then I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see once we test out. So then the value will equal to, I'm just going to open some tags over there, and then this will equal to a token. All right, so let me just leave this as a normal tag, a normal input field. All right, so input type hidden class, don't need class over there. Name, token, ID, yeah. All right, so with this being done, I'll explain this just now. So I just need to add, um, I need to import that token. The utility we're gonna need to create a token. So I'm gonna say page. I'm gonna add a page directive here and say add page, and then what I'll do is import, which equals to dot UID, and then there we'll close the tag. Okay, so now I'm just going to open another JSP tags over there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go within our token here, and I'm just going to copy that and paste it within here. Okay, and obviously you need to name that as token. All right, so this value that we're going to get from this method, from this method over here, this is the token that we are outputting here within our hidden field. Now let me explain this. Now, even though here within our auth controller, I could have done this here where when we render the view, we also add an object where it sends along that token that we just added here at the top of our page. Now, when I was testing this out, or let me explain why I'm actually doing it here within the page. When I was testing this out, in fact, you know what? Let me just run the server, and then I'll show you what I'm trying to do there. Actually, you know what? Let me do something else. So let me show you what's the auth controller. Let me just add the token as well. Login view dot add object, and then I'll say token from controller, right? And then I need to get that token, obviously. So I'll say string token from controller, and then I'll say equals to uh, generate token, right? And then I'm going to copy that and send this along. So this will render the view. I mean, this will send the token to the login form. So now I'm going to create another hidden field. I'll copy that there. And then I'll say, I'll change that. I'm going to use an expression. I'll say request scope dot I'll put that over there. Okay, so all right, so yeah, let me just change that name there from controller. I hope that works. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the server. I'll show you the difference between these two, the one from the controller and the one that's in the page up here. So I'm just going to run the server and pause the video now, and then we'll test it out once it's back up. All right, guys, the server is back up. Let's just test and see if our form will work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to login. Okay, let's just check there. Class. All right, I forgot one thing there within our model class there. I forgot to actually create the getters and setters. Getter and setter. Okay. Right, I'm gonna run the server again. Hopefully there's no errors this time. Okay, the server is up. Hopefully there's no errors this time. Let's see. Okay, so luckily there's no errors. So now yeah, if we get back to our point here, I wanted to show you the difference between this particular token that's being generated in the controller and the one that's being generated within the page. So if I were to say, um, if I were to open the developer tools, okay, that's our form. All right, so that's the value from what you call it, the from the token field, right? I mean from the controller, and then this one over here is from the from the one that's generated within the page. So I'm going to copy this value over here, and I'm gonna paste it within our notepad. I'll just say generated from page, and then I'll paste that there. I'll say generated from controller, and then I'll obviously copy this one over here, and I'll paste that there. So as you can see, that's the value that we are getting from our controller, and then this is the one that we're getting from the that's generated within the page. So now I'm going to refresh the page. Now as you can see, the one from, oh actually I'm lying, wait, hold on. Oh, actually I'm lying, so let me see. I'm going to refresh that, and then I just want to check. So that's the one that's generated from the controller, and then that's the one from the form field. Oh, actually, I'm lying. I wonder why that is, because I remember when I was testing this, for some odd reason, this value wasn't changing. It stayed constant. So every time I refresh the page, whatever token that was sent through via the controller, it wasn't regenerating a new one. It just kept being constant. So I don't know why now it's being different, but let me just check something. Hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, I know where my mistake was. The last time I was generating this token within the application, I was actually using a model attribute. So I had created a model attribute within here, and I said I think it was token. And so by doing this, um, I'll say string and say get token. So the last time the way I did it was I went within here and created a token using this model attribute. It was something like this. Dot generate. So it was something like this. So that was my mistake. So when I do it this way, um what am I doing? So when you do it this way, yeah, and then you use this to bind it to the hidden field, that value will always stay constant up until maybe you rerun or redeploy the application. So that was my mistake within the previous application. This is how I did it, and so the reason I went back and actually did it this way within the page was because I didn't trust the fact that you generate a token and it stays constant, it doesn't change and so forth, and so I didn't think it was safe, so I reverted to doing it within the page itself. So that was my mistake. Apologies for that. So yeah, so but in any case, it looks like it's fine. When we generate a token and send the view along, it looks like it does change. It does change the value. It doesn't stay constant like I thought initially. So I guess I'll keep. Yeah, I guess I'll keep this one since it regenerates a token every time the page is refreshed. So that means within here we can get rid of this, and yeah, we can get away with that import over there, and then we can get rid of this input field here, and then with that we can change this um, to underscore token. Okay, so I think that's fine. What else do we need to do? I need to stop the server now. Okay, so we are, I think we've got all the fields that we need. We are getting our token along with all of the form fields. So now here within the auth controller, we then now need to create a post mapping for our registration. I mean for our form. So it's a post mapping. and say public model and view, and then I'll say login. Okay. Oh, by the way, I want to delete this particular token string here, or model attribute. All right, so now what do we need to do? All right, so obviously we need to do the same thing we did within our registration form, which is going to be valid, add valid. Is it add valid? Am I correct here? Let me just verify that. Yeah, and then I'll say add model attribute, and then obviously it has to be the same name as what we taken here. All right, then I'll say what I do. Oh yeah. So then we're gonna bind it to our login model, which will be login. And then what else do we need? All right, then we're gonna bind the result, and then we're just gonna copy and paste that over here. Let me just indent this onto the next line, and then from there on, I think what we need to do is check for errors. So what I'll do here is if result dot has errors, obviously we're gonna this time around I'm actually gonna set this within the modelet view, and then I'll say get login, and obviously we're gonna go back to the login page, right? And then we're gonna add the error. So we'll say um, login view dot add object, which will be um, oh no, actually we don't need to do this here. We just have to return login view. By default, this will give us the errors we need. All right, so first, that's the first thing we do. Let me just say I'm gonna copy this here, and then for now we'll just let it return that for now. But in any case, here we are just checking for errors. Check for errors. So let me see, I think that's all we need. If I'm not mistaken, that's how we did it the first time around. Yeah, in any case, I might as well just add those fields over there. So I'll say add param, request param, which will be email, and then obviously string email, and then we'll add also add request param, which is going to be password, and then it will be string password, and then the last one obviously is going to be underscore token, which will be string token. Okay, all right, so I'm going to rerun the server just to see if our validations are picking up or not. So I'm going to run the server, pause the video for now, and then we'll check it out once we're back, once it's up. All right, our server is up. So now let's check the form. Just refresh, and then if you click there, okay, so we are getting our validations there. So as you can see, the password field is required, the email field is required, which is exactly the error messages we set up over there. So just for future sake, let me just change that over there. Then all right, so now we are able to validate our form. So the other thing that we need to do now, since we are validating our form, what we need to do now is create another method here within our application to validate that whether or not the email the user is inputting within the field is it a registered email or not. So here within the application DAO, I'll create another message here. Uh, I'll say validate email. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is public static yeah, yes. All right. So obviously we're gonna take in a parameter there, and then it's gonna be email. All right. And then now I'll say connection, and then I'll say connect, and then set it to null initially. What else? I'm gonna need the result set, which is gonna set, which equals. I'm also gonna set that to null for now. All right, and then we're gonna create the SQL string. So is regis yeah, which obviously will be something like select email from users uh, where email equals to question mark. All right, so now we'll say e, and do that, and we'll say e dot print stack trace. Okay, then here I'll just say throws exception. All right, so now I'll set the connection equals to dot get connection, and then here we'll prepare the statement. And we'll say prepare statement, and then obviously we're going to get the is registered email SQL, and here set so we'll say statement dot set string, and in here we'll say the first parameter obviously, and then that's going to be email. All right, which is going to be set equals to statement dot execute query, and then we'll say while next, we're gonna return true here. Otherwise, we're gonna return false. Okay, let me just do some cleanup here. I just want to put these comments here so I can see where I'm going. Uh, right, and then that's the other comment over there. Okay, so basically we're checking if this is an email that's registered within the system. Otherwise, if it is registered within the system, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So here within our, let me just close all these other things here. Here within our admin controller, not the admin controller, the auth controller. So here, the first thing we'll do is we'll say if, then we just have to say application DAO dot is registered email. Then obviously we're gonna take that email. Exception. All right, so this is why I actually wanted to set up the model and view within the if statements themselves, because here what we want to do is if the user is logging in with an email that's not registered within the system, I need to redirect them to another page. So the page will be error, and then I'll say error view, copy that, and then obviously we're going to set our error message. So I'll say error view dot add object, and then let me just say not registered. What's this thing doing? I'll just give it a message there. I'll say they are please contact your administrator. I'll just put an exclamation mark there. Okay, so now that we've set up this what you call it, this view over here to display the error, we then now need to come within the what you call it, the error page. And then what I'm going to do first, there seems to be an error somewhere here. Oh, sorry, I forgot an exclamation mark. All right, so what I'm going to do is here within the add user, I want to just copy, I want to copy this here where we display the error messages. So I'm going to take that, copy, and I'm going to put it here within the text. Or actually, let me put that above that. Right, and then I'm going to take the text and just remove the div. Obviously that's going to go right, and then I'm going to copy not registered tag over there. So I'll come in here. If this is not equal to null, then we're gonna display it here. So not registered, then I'll put that. And then obviously by default, this is gonna change the text to red, so I don't need to do anything else because the card itself it's already set up with those colors and all that. But in any case, yeah. So basically, when the user when the user is using an email that's not registered, it's gonna redirect them to this error page, and then therefore it'll what you call it, it'll what you call it, it'll display that error. So now that since we've done that, we again need to set up that view. So within here, what I'll do is get mapping, and then I'll say error. Just gonna copy this here just to save time. All right, I'll say get error. Right, and then in here we'll say error view. Copy that, change it there. I'll change that message over there. Page, and page title will be error. And obviously we need to return the error page. So like I said, since it's in the root, we don't need to add any other things there. Okay, so now the other thing is, in order for this error page to show, we need to disable the default white label error page that we get with Spring. And to do that, we need to come in here within um, the application properties file. So we'll say all right. So for that to work, we need to say server dot error dot white label dot enabled which equals to false. I think that's it. Server dot white error. All right. So that's what we need to do. Let's test it out quickly. I'm gonna run the server, then I'm gonna pause it. We'll check it out once it's back up. All right, guys, the server is back up. Hopefully there are no errors, but let's just check it out. So, okay, let's see. So obviously those are the only two registered emails: Steve at somecompany.com and admin at support.co.za. So what I'll do is I'll just say let's use that one, John Doe. Put in some gibberish there. Uh, Form action, which is login, auth controller, which is login. So why is it redirecting back? Hold on a sec there. Oh, sorry, I forgot to actually. It's supposed to return false if this is not true, so I forgot about that. I'm gonna rerun the server. We'll be back once it's up and running. All right, the server is up. Again, let's just check and see if this will work. Just gonna refresh. All right, so let's say John Doe, put in some gibberish there, login. All right, so there you have it. So With this, we were able to check whether or not the user was using what you call it, an email that's not registered within the system. Otherwise, if it's not a registered email, it then redirects us to our error page, and then therefore displayed our error message that we set up there. There are no registered accounts with this email address, etc. As you can see, that's exactly what we set up here. All right, so let me just stop this quickly. Okay, so basically, we were able to validate using our binding over there, and then we also checked whether or not the user is using a registered email. Now, I know you wouldn't necessarily give or indicate to a user whether or not they're using an incorrect email, but for the purposes of this, for this project, we just did that so that we can at the very least see what we're doing. All right, so this video is long enough already, so I think I'll just stop this here. We will continue the next part of this login authentication within the next video. But for now, let's add a let's add a what you call it. Let's add a functionality here to check and see if whether or not if we do use a correct email, does it redirect us back to the proper page? So let's say login success, and then we'll put a message that say login successful. Then I'm gonna take let me take it from the no I'm gonna take it from here. So registration success, I'm gonna take this and then I'm gonna paste it within the login form. So I'll put it right below here. All right, and then obviously we're gonna take this one over here, and then we will set it up there and change this there. All right, so I'm only doing this just to see if whether or not it is passing these two steps over here when we do the correct stuff. So if if it passes all of these, it's obviously going to come here, and then I'm just setting the redirect back to the login page, and then hopefully we will be able to what you call it, we were able to display this error message over here. Okay, so I'll run the server one last time. All right, the server is up. Let's check it one last time. Let me refresh this. Okay, so that's our login form. If you click there, we need to add some fields there. So if we do that, put in an email that doesn't exist, it takes us to the registration page. Let me go back home. My apologies. Let's go to login. All right, so now we're going to put in an email that exists. So we have admin@support.co.za. So I'll do that. Let's say admin@support.co.za, and then just put in some gibberish there. All right, so we were able to successfully pass through these first two steps over here. All right, so I think I should end the video here at the moment. Like I said, it's long enough already. Again, I wasn't anticipating it to be this long, but unfortunately, yeah, that's what else can we do? All right, guys. So that's it for the video. For those of you who haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe if you've liked what you've seen so far. Again, I appreciate any support, and I will see you guys within the next video. All right, cheers for now.